welcome to the Anglo-saxon Lore Podcast. I'm your host, Hayden.
And I'm your other host, Nick.
This will be our first episode, maybe our only, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to have some crazy stuff planned. Actually, we got a pretty stacked episode for you guys.
We sure do. In fact, I think it's about time we show the viewers that wild thing.
Alright. No point in wasting time. Activate the time machine. I bet you're wondering, where are we? Well, it's a simple answer, really.
Yep, we went back in time to talk to the one and only.
Speaking of which, looks like he's, right here.
What is this? Where is this?
Don't worry, little bro. We just want to ask you a few questions, boast away.
Oh, though I thought I was on the way to see King Hrothgar, it would not hurt to stay a while to have a good boast. So I'll take you on this proposition. Ask away.
I got this. So Beowulf, can you tell us about any cool adventures you've been on recently?
I sure can, large one. I do remember this one time that I was challenged to a swimming race against this man named Breca. He was a very worthy opponent, not one that I couldn't defeat, but unfortunately, there were these sea monsters that got in the way, and I had to take a little detour to defeat those scoundrels. And defeat them I did, but at a loss of the race.
Interesting. Actually, I remember that in the text. Here's where it says that.
Huh?
Don't worry about it. Okay, next question.
Oh no! I just remembered why I came to this land. I must be on my way. I will return when I'm victorious.
Oh. Well, I guess that gives us a good transition to our next guest. I think he'll be here soon, actually. After this quick ad break.
Did you know that Beowulf came to Hrothgar after he heard that Grendel filled their nights with horror? It is said that Grendel terrorized their land for 12 years, and no one stood a chance against the beast. Also, Grendel is the first foe that our hero Beowulf faces in this story. There are many artistic interpretations of this beast's design. Here are a few of them. Ooh, and I made this one. I'm rather proud of it.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for our next guest now. Welcome in Grendel. Grendel.
I feel like we're forgetting something about this story we made an entire podcast on.
As I said, I have returned victorious.
Okay, but where'd you go?
Well, I was off to kill the horrible beast Grendel. And oh, killed him I did.
Yeah, I remember that. In this part of the text.
Huh?
Doesn't matter. What does matter is how you killed that Grendel beast.
Ah, yes. 'Twas an intense battle, but I was victorious in the end. These were my spoils.
Of course. That's also in the story right here.
Huh?
Well, next should be his mother. Right, Hayden?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Ah, I must have forgotten again. I shall return once more.
Yep, right on time. But that also gives us more time for another ad break.
Did you know that the location that Grendel's mother lives at and has her fight with Beowulf is within a cave at the bottom of a deep lake? This lake is so deep, in fact, that it takes Beowulf 4 hours to reach the bottom to face the monster. This lake is teeming with many other fierce monsters as well, many of which attack Beowulf during his battle with Grendel's mother. I have returned!
Just as we thought. Killed the mother, right?
How do you know the identity of this beast?
Just a hunch. So what'd you use to vanquish that evil monster?
Well, our weapons cannot slice her evil skin. That hunting could not hurt her. I was at her mercy until I saw a sword, and a large one at that. It is blessed with some kind of giant magic that lets it hurt those beasts. But at last, I must return to King Hrothgar to gift him with Grendel's head, for I will receive many riches and return home glorious.
Well, if I recall correctly, our next meetup should be in like 50 or so years, and I ain't waiting for all that.
Good thing they got this super sick time-traveling house.
We probably should have used that time-traveling house whenever, he went to go kill the mother. That was like a day or so. I was sitting there forever. Well, looks like we time-traveled. I hope it's in the right place, though. This thing's a little iffy.
Let me go look outside for a bit.
Sure. I'll put us on another ad break while you go look for him.
Did you know once Beowulf killed Grendel's mother, he finds Grendel lying dead in the corner. He then struck of Grendel's head with a single blow, as the body jerked for the last time. He then takes Grendel said back to King Hrothgar to retrieve the treasure Hrothgar promised him. And he then returned home to the land of the Geats, where he succeeds to the throne and becomes king. After this, 50 years pass in the story to show an old Beowulf traveling with his warriors to face his final battle, the dragon.
Look who I found.
Oh yes, I do remember you two. Large one and the other one. It has been many years since our last encounter.
It sure has. So, what are you doing all the way out here?
Why, I am here to lay waste to the dragon that has been terrorizing my kingdom all this time. For I am the king of the Geats.
Well, could we ask you a few questions before your battle, like we did years ago?
I suppose so, but with haste. The battle is calling for me.
Alright, that's fine by me. Ask a question, Hayden.
Well, why was the dragon attacking y'all in the first place?
Some horrid thief had stolen a jeweled cup from its hoard of gold. It must be out for some spiteful revenge.
That does sound like something a dragon would do. I did see an entire army with you, though. Are they not going to do anything?
Ah, the army. I've already told them that I aim to defeat the beast all on my own. They are simply there if the situation gets very bad.
Yeah, that's another characteristic of these epic hero type guys.
If you didn't already know, an epic hero is a brave and noble character in an epic poem, admired for great achievements or affected by grand events. Beowulf is an example of an epic hero because of his extraordinary strength.
Did you know kennings come from the Old Norse word kenna, meaning to know? They are compound words or short phrases, sometimes hyphenated, which are used to describe a different word. Kennings are used very often as metaphors, giving colour to the reader's imagination. Some examples of kennings in the story Beowulf are that shadow of death hunted in the darkness, the shadow of death being represented as Grendel and the darkness being represented as the night. The other example of kenning used in the story was Then He Saw, the mighty water witch, where the witch is representing Grendel's mother and the water representing where she lives under the lake.
You once again have me lost, but I think it's about time I face my destiny.
But, could we, interview you after your fight?
But of course, off I go.
Few moments later.
And that's when I said, huh? Wait, where's Beowulf?
Unfortunately, Beowulf was a victim of the dragon, but the last victim of that. I aided him in the fight, and we defeated that evil monster.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I was really hoping to talk to him again.
Well, at least that dragon's been defeated, and the kingdom is now safe. I'm sure Beowulf wouldn't have had it any other way. Did he at least say anything before he passed?
Well, before he told me to come over here and speak with you two, he told me that he wanted me to take the treasure from the dragon and put it in his tomb.
Well, since the king's passed, who's going to take the throne?
Well, my lord passed the crown on to me. He trusts me to take care of this kingdom and those who reside within it.
Oh yeah, I remember that in this part of the text.
Huh?
Well, what happened to all those soldiers you had? There were like so many of them. Did they not help him?
Well, unfortunately, they seemed to have retreated once they saw how bad Beowulf was wounded by the dragon. Oh, those men will get a good berating when I return.
Well, it was good having you on the show, Wiglaf. I hope we can talk to you again another time.
Farewell.